Hello, this is Scott Conway, Mothers Raising Sons, dealing with statistics. 90% of all homeless and runaway kids come from fatherless households. And that is 32 times the national average. 32 times. Now, I have a couple of problems with this statistic. Because, yes, it's probably true. In fact, for the purposes of all of these statistics, I'm just going to assume whoever compiled the statistics, they got the numbers right, they did the math right. But here's one of the problems with this statistic. First off, you're lumping things together. Because when some mothers look at this, some single mothers look at this, oh my gosh, 90% of runaways. Well, it's 90% of homeless and runaways. So you have this group that includes two things. Now, I personally would like to see these statistics broken up. I want to see what the homeless numbers are, see what the runaway numbers are, and see if those are different. And another problem we have is, how are you counting homeless? Because if you're counting homeless as in you don't have your own home, you don't have your own place, if, say for instance, a mother has taken her children and she's moved back in with her parents, do they count as homeless? Well, in a lot of statistics they do, because it's not her home. She's living in somebody else's home, so technically she doesn't have her own home. So it may not be quite what it sounds. Now, this is a great sounding statistic for public policy. But as far as being an individual single mother, trying to look at these things and make sense for what does this mean to you, that there's not nearly as much to worry about this as it might sound up front. One of the reasons homelessness would be so high is because of the poverty rate among single mothers. Because if you have a single parent household, you only have one income. And with the income opportunities that are more commonly available to and therefore taken by women compared to those available to and therefore taken by men, a lot of times the woman's not going to be making as much money. Combined with the fact that most mothers will try to find a work-life balance to balance being the mother to her children with her job, while a lot of fathers will tend to prioritize the job over the family. So when you're looking at some of these things and you're putting them together, first off, it's not as scary as it sounds, because if you're living with your parents and your kids are staying with you, you might still count as part of the homeless stat. And so it doesn't have to be that scary that you're going to end up homeless. And even if you do, if there's shelters you can go to, if there's friends you can stay with, there's solutions to this. And that this number is a byproduct of the poverty that you commonly will face. And so if you can address that, look at your job opportunities, look at your career opportunities, look at your business opportunities, and work on that, you can deal with a lot of these statistics. But even if you're making pretty decent money and your parents let you stay in a home that they own and help you raise your kids, you might still count in here, and you could be doing quite well. So this isn't a statistic to be terribly afraid of. You still parent the way you know you need to parent. You do your best to support your family, to earn the money that you need to pay the bills, but you don't have to be afraid of this statistic. Just know that this is a byproduct, and the way some of these numbers get counted sometimes sounds a lot scarier than it really is. So sometimes you might be looking at this and thinking, oh my God, there's a 90% chance we're going to end up being on the street, and that's actually not what it is. It's just of kids who are homeless 90% of the time, there's no father in the picture. But homeless includes living in a shelter. Homeless can include living with your parents. Homeless can include living with friends. And so there's a lot of ways you could still fall into the statistic and it really not be that bad. So you just focus on taking care of your kids, focus on taking care of your own bills, focus on getting whatever additional support and resources that you might need to be able to take care of your family and take care of your kids, and you don't need to be afraid of the statistic. Even if you fall into it on the homeless side, it really might not be nearly as bad as it sounds. Most people think it means on the street, and that's not necessarily what it means. And I start off with this one because a lot of the other statistics build off of this as a byproduct of the poverty that is very common when you have a single mother. So we'll be talking about that in the ongoing lessons. This kind of takes apart the fact that 90% of children that are homeless and runaways come from a fatherless household, and a little bit about what that means. So this is Scott Conway with mothersraisingsons.com, and we're breaking out some fatherlessness statistics to try to put single mothers at ease and give you some tools not only to deal with it, but also to be able to talk about it with other people that might be trying to encourage you to stay in a bad or a dangerous situation.